Okay, we're back. So I'm going to try now internet music. Okay, in which it plays the service.mp3. Click. Okay, so it's now playing, then stop. So no matter even if ever it would be from access from the internet, we could still use the same stop. Okay, so the last is we're going to have uh, from our local storage. Okay. So from our local storage, so I'm going to create here, okay, pick file. I'm just going to call it pick file. Okay, and since it is going to wait for the selection from the users, I'm just going to have a future. Then I'm going to return the string or the path of the file. Okay, so that's why string. Okay, so here we are going to use the pick file picker library. Okay, so first is we are going to file picker that platform, because it's going, this is applicable to all platforms. Okay, so that pick files. Okay, so pick files is going to return a future, then it is a file picker result. Okay, so therefore I'm going to initialize here a file picker result, then just going to call it result is equal to file picker. And as you can see here, it says it is a future, so therefore we're going to use again await. And if ever await, so we're going to use an asynchronous keyword. Okay, but still I'm getting an error. Okay, it is nullable, so therefore I'm just going to have this one initialized as a nullable one. Okay, so we are going to have some parameters. Okay, so first is we're going to have the type, file type that, okay, could be audio, custom. Let's try audio. Okay, then what are the allowed extensions? For the allowed extensions, we could set here an array. Okay, we're going to have .mp3, .wav, and so on. So but in this example, I'm just going to have .mp3. Okay, then we have the allow multiple. Okay, by default it is false, so I'm just going to have here true. Okay, so meaning we could select multiple, but as of now I'm just going to play a single audio. Okay, and with data, if we need the data from the files, I'm just going to set this one into true, because maybe later on we could use this parameter. Okay, so after we have set, okay, the result, what is important here is actually the allowed extensions. Okay, and this one here is depend on your requirement. If ever that you can select multiple files, then set it to true. In our case, by the way, I'm just going to select a single file. Okay, then we are going to validate if the result is not equal to null. Okay, because it is possible it is null when the user is going to click on cancel. Okay, so if ever it is not null, so therefore we are going to return result that files, then the very first file, even though we are going to let the user to select only one file, but still we are going to use the files method. Okay, so meaning it files parameter which contains all of the files selected by the user. It could be zero, by the way, it could be one or many. Okay, then that path. So we have an error. So it should be a string. Okay, a value of a string, then it is a nullable string. So therefore, we are just going to assure. Let us say we're going to have it here. Okay, a nullable string, or you could make some assertion. This one here. Okay, either of the two. Okay. So else, then we're just going to return blank. Okay, so meaning there are no the user click the cancel button. Okay. So from here, so we have the pick file. Okay, save it here. We are going to call the pick file. Okay, but then the pick file, no context. It is a future string. So again, therefore, we're going to have await. Then if ever we have await, so we have async. And since it is going to return a string, so therefore we are going to assign a string variable. We are just going to call it audio file. Type string. So I'm just going to have here, okay, a nullable string. Okay, then the way that we are going to play here is different from the others now. So we're going to have await, then player, still that play, but then we are going to call a function, okay, device file source. Okay, device file source, then the path. So we're going to have our audio file. Can't be assigned. Okay, so we're just going to do some assertion here. So we have, so meaning it is not null. Okay, and by the way, it is going to return an error if ever the user is going to select or click the cancel button. It is because it's going to return a blank or an empty string. So therefore, where is it? Okay, so we could have a validation here. So if audio file that is empty, okay, if ever it is empty, then no, it should be is not empty. So meaning the user selected a file, so therefore that's only the time that we are going to play. It's not a function. Oops. Not equal to null, because it is nullable. Okay, so since audio file is a nullable string, so therefore is not empty is not valid. So we're just going to validate if it is not null, then we're going to play. So therefore we could remove the assertion because it is going only to execute this line here if it is not null. So therefore, if it gets inside the if structure here, therefore audio file is not null. Okay, so save and reload. Okay, select audio file. Okay, so this is now our file picker. Okay, and I'm going to try now on drive C, then MP3, then we have here save ish, open. Okay, I'm going to try the other file. So we have the never written rule, open. Better days. Okay, so we have now played our we have now created let's say a very simple audio player that plays from the asset, from the internet, or from our local file. And by the way, if ever we are going to select allow multiple, okay, so here before we're going to return, so we're not going to return this one here, okay, so we are going to get the result, okay, result that paths. We are going to use the paths, okay, it is a list of strings for the path of the different or of all of the selected files, okay, paths, okay, then I'm going to a list of file, and I'm going to have it here files is equal to list of paths, because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to convert all of these, okay, paths into the files variable. Okay, so I'm going to use here the map method, okay, then we're going to have inside the maps, we're going to have that, and since we are going to return here a list, so therefore I'm going to have here, I'm going to convert them into list. Okay, so here map, we're going to have here the path, then we are going to return file, then I'm going to have the path. Okay, so I'm just going to have here some assertion. Okay, path, map, the path, then to list. Okay, so here, for example, if ever the user selected two audio files, so therefore it is going to iterate twice, okay, meaning this command here with the map, okay, it is going to be applied to those two files, okay, that has been selected by the user. So therefore it is going to create a file, okay, for each of the paths that has been selected by the user. Okay, so therefore we have now a list of files here. Okay, so next is actually the next thing that you're going to do here supposedly is you are going then to put these files, by the way this is now a list, so therefore you could then display the content of this list into a list view or a data table. Okay, but anyway, in this example I'm just going to show you how are we going to create a list out of all of the selected files by the user. Okay, so I'm just going to print here, so I'm going to have for file, I'm just going to call it file, oops, I'm going to call it file in files. Then I'm just going to print the file path. I'm going to be our file path. In files. But I could also print, by the way, number of files selected, that length. Then so that we could play a single file, return files the very first selected file. I'm going to return the very first selected file, the path of the first file. Okay, so what you could see here would be when the user select multiple files, so it is going to print those files and return the first file. Except that I am now again disconnected, so therefore I'm going to post it again. Okay, so we're back. Okay, so we are now going to try this one here. So what we're going to expect is the file selected, or the user could now select multiple files. Then we are going to display the files that has been selected. Then we are going to play the very first file. Okay, so select audio file. So I'm going to select, so click and control click. So as you can see, both of them are now selected. Why? It is because of this parameter here. Okay, so we could see here then the files. Okay, open, stop. Okay, number of files selected. So we wait here. Oh. No, I should have enclosed this one in. Okay. I hope it will not disconnect. Then as you can see here, the two files has been displayed. Okay, so this is this proves that we have created a list of files that could be then, if ever that you're going to create a much better audio player, so you could actually create here a list view, okay, or a data table, so that all of the selected files could be played here. And every time that you're going to click on any of the music here, it would be played with this one here. Okay, with no, not the URL, but with the device file source. Okay, or you could create a list of internet or audio files uploaded to your website. Then you are going to stream those music and list them in a list view and so on. Okay, for background music, you could use just the assets. Okay, and one thing more on, if ever that you are going to use a web app, it could play, as I've said, it could play audio files from the internet. Okay, but it is possible that it's going to give you an error because of let us say, what's that? The course policy of the browser, in which it is not going to allow just anybody to access files from any of the directory in the internet. So that's why you're going to create an htaccess file. Okay, so htaccess file is actually contains the rules that is going to be followed by the web server. Okay, so what I have here, open with Visual Studio Code. Okay, we have it there, htaccess. So just copy this one here. So meaning, so that in our header we are going to set access control allow origin, meaning all. When you say asterisk, meaning we are allowing all clients, okay, or from any website, from any source, okay, that is going to access all the files within the directory where this htaccess is located. Okay, so just copy this one, then you are going to paste it here. So take note, .htaccess. It has no file name. It is only an extension name. Okay, so that even though if you are going to use a web app, then it could still play this music here from the internet. Okay. So I hope you could create. Now, I want you to create a much better audio player compared with what I have here. Okay? Because if ever that you're going to go to the audio player, then go to the getting started tutorial, then you could see here a lot more ways on how are you going to work with this one. Okay, so we have actually play, we have the stop, we have the resume, then we have the seek. Okay, so I want you to try this one so that you could create a much better audio player with what I have. So what I have used so far is only stop. You could use also pause. Okay, if you pause, then you could resume. Okay, so what's the difference between a stop and pause? So when you stop and you resume, okay, it is always going to start from the beginning. While if ever you're going to pause at the middle, you're going to resume at the middle. Okay, seek is you are going to go directly with the timeline. Okay, so I want you to try all of this. So again, just go to pub.dev, then you're going to look for audio players. Okay, so that's all for this video, and I'll see you on the next one.